Welcome back, Truth Seeker. This upcoming Saturday will be UFC 322. Of course, very infamous number connecting from Skull and Bones at Yale to the anniversary of the Illuminati founder dying, who died on the 322nd day of the year, November 18th. But as this big event approaches, what's come out in the headlines is a former UFC fighter, aged 38, was found dead in his Florida jail cell while fighting domestic violence charges. And you can see that it mentions that he was 5-6 in the UFC. Notice what day he was found dead. It says former UFC fighter Godofredo Pepe was found dead in his jail cell in Florida on Saturday night from an apparent self-deletion. Police said he was 38. Now, Saturday was what date? Can somebody remind me? Was it the date that we circled back in January, like we went through and circled the one date for each month that is the kill date, where celebrities die in suspicious fashion and sometimes very tragic things happen in the world. You know, the Charlie Kirk thing happened on the kill date for September. Poor Sister Jean got it in October. There were a number of celebrity deaths on November 8th. This one gets added to the list. They released it days later. Again, remember what the kill date is. It's the date that has three different numerology paths that are 64, 44, and 28, matching the gematria of kill, which has the values 64, 44, and 28. The next kill date will be December 7th. Again, this month it was November 8th. Last month it was October 9th. Before that it was September 10th, the Charlie Kirk date. Before that it was August 11th. Before that it was July 12th. Before that it was June 13th, the day that Israel attacked Iran, and et cetera, et cetera. There's one day each month that has those numerology paths. And you see this stuff. So we have the kill date, right? And then we also have him being 38 years old. As we know, in Gematria, death equals 38. So does murder. So does killing. So does RIP. Remember, Skull and Bones Order 322, UFC 322 approaching again. They refer to themselves as the Brotherhood of Death. Again, death equals 38. It goes on, the Brazilian fighter who was in custody in connection with a domestic violence case was discovered unresponsive just before 8 p.m. Military time, that's 2000 hours, right? And as we know, death equals 20 as well as 38. Just before 8 p.m. by a detention deputy conducting routine checks, the Broward County Sheriff's Office confirmed to Fox News Digital. Detectives said jail staff removed a sheet from around his neck and immediately began performing life-saving measures. Pepe was transferred to Broward Health Medical Center, where he later died. Detectives said no foul play was suspected, and his death is being investigated as an apparent self-deletion. His official cause of death is pending the medical examiner's office. Pepe, whose real name is Godofredo Castro de Oliveira, was arrested on charges of domestic violence and held without bond following his June arrest. According to online records, he was facing 4 charges, including 3 felony charges and kidnapping, tampering with a victim, and battery. He also faced an additional misdemeanor battery charge. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. The incident involved the UFC fighter and his wife and reportedly stemmed from a jealousy issue, the New York Post reported, citing a police report. He was accused of dragging her by her hair and choking her until she lost consciousness multiple times. According to the report, the attack left his wife with visible injuries to her face and neck. Pepe went 5-6 in his UFC career, which lasted from 2012 to 2018. He last fought professionally in 2022. So I'm sure there's even more to this. I bet if we measure from the date of the charges to the death, there's ritualism there. I bet if we measure from his birthday to the death, there's more ritualism there. But do we really even need to explain anymore? You know what I mean? We know what's going on these kill dates. And then, again, it's just dying at 38 as well. It's blatant. And for all the people who come around when I do these videos and say, what is the point of knowing this? It's like, are you guys just trolls? Are you bots? Are you paid for bots? The point of knowing this is to understand that the authorities, the people who produce these BS articles that say no foul play, that comes from a BS report from some other authorities, some cop types. People need to see through this corruption that we live under because we're being lied to every day by the media. The authorities are doing really bad things in the world that do have consequences on our own lives, like when they start these needless wars that cost us tons of money in taxes, when they lock down the world over the flu and, make it so they have to print a bunch of money, making everything super expensive, inflation, et cetera, like the types of things we're living out. All these things are related. And you can see through all of them before they even happen, just like how we knew what was going to happen in 2020 years before it did happen, because we know how these psychopaths work on the cycle of the 19-year moon. Again, Cootie's 19 years after 9/11 and the 19 hijackers, which came 19 years after the war on drugs being declared, and all those things were really a war on people's rights and liberties and helped build up the police surveillance state. But yeah, also just the power of this knowledge. Shout out to this member of my community. He turned a $6 bill into $1,191.83 tonight using the knowledge we talk about daily and the Patreon live streams. Again, if you guys aren't on the Patreon, shout out to Big Al. Again, just, day after day, we take advantage of these rigged sports games, and I teach people to turn small bills into big bills. And no, you're not going to turn $6 into $1,200 every day. But you can turn $5 into $50 very consistently and better. And for everyone who's struggling to pay for groceries and heating bills and all the other things right now, learning to be smart with your money, not waste it on stupid stuff, and take advantage of this rigged system. It's the market, it's crypto, it's sports. Looks like we got another winner in here. Big Al's playing with a lot of house money. He turned a nice 50 into 283. But yeah, the Bruins and the Jazz both look like Lock City tonight. Both were plus money teams. So yeah, just, plenty of people having good nights. But I think right here, the man from the 647 has the top ticket. So yeah, I just get sick of all the dumb comments, I'm exposing the most evil crap, the way we're mocked, who's really running the show. And I'm teaching you how to be smart with your money and multiply your money. And then some of you guys are coming around here, what's the point of knowing this? Maybe stick around and pay attention, maybe invest in what I'm actually saying, and you'll see what the point of knowing this is. There's a lot of points. I've never found a piece of knowledge that unlocks so many doors. And I've never seen anybody ever say any point of, I know this piece of knowledge that unlocks even more doors. That's never happened. If you know something that you can use for more beneficial purposes than what I'm teaching about on this channel, you let me know. I've been saying that for over a decade, and I haven't heard anybody give one reasonable response. And here, just to counter my own argument, maybe being like a really great doctor because you could save lives in other ways. Sure, that might be even better. But that requires, 10 years of school. You can learn this knowledge in no time. So Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker.